Class 11th. So, in our last lecture, we started with our new chapter that is called Respiration in Plants. And I gave you the basic idea, basic introduction about the respiration, about the aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Today, we are going to start with our first cycle, which is very common in both aerobic as well as anaerobic respiration, that is called the glycolysis. And we are actually in glycolysis, what is our aim? That glucose is getting breakdown into pyruvic acid, and it is first common step in both aerobic and anaerobic respiration. So let's see that what is glycolysis means. Glycolysis has another name also, that is called EMP pathway. EMP is given actually EMP pathway is known for its scientist. E for Amdon, M for Meyerhoff, and P for Parnas. That is why this pathway is also known as EMP pathway. The term, if you just break down this term, the glycose word means glucose, and lysis means breakdown of glucose, right? It is basically lysis actually means breakdown, and here what we are breaking down, we are breaking the glucose into the simpler molecule or simpler compound, because it is a complex compound. So this pathway is also known as EMP pathway because of its scientist name Amdon, Meyerhoff, Parnas, who actually discussed, or who actually gave us this total scheme thoroughly, that is the 10-step process. So glycolysis actually, it is a 10-step process. Few points before I start with the actual pathway that you should know. It already you know now that where does it take place, that glucose when change into, it is a 6 carbon compound, right? And it change into pyruvic acid, or specifically also now you know the molecules, that two molecules of pyruvic acid, because it is a 3 carbon. So now this process, it happens in cytoplasm. It is an anaerobic step because it is first step when glucose is breaking down into pyruvic acid. After that, it is further entering this pyruvic acid, either enter into aerobic or anaerobic pathway. Glucose undergoes partial oxidation to form the two molecules of pyruvic acid. As in my last chapter, in my last video, I gave this, that what is anaerobic. In anaerobic, partial oxidation of food takes place basically. So here partial oxidation of glucose is taking place, and in aerobic, complete oxidation takes place. So as you can see, that partial oxidation to form two molecules of pyruvic acid through, and this pyruvic acid go through a 10 enzymatic catalyzed reaction, means that glucose change into pyruvic acid through this 10 enzymatic reaction. It is a 10-step process. So let's start with our cycle, that is glycolytic cycle. This is called a glycolytic pathway or glycolysis cycle. Now first one by one we will see. So listen to me very carefully, that what are we doing. So in plants, as you know, that sucrose is there present. So from sucrose, when it breaks down, it breaks down into the glucose. So if I break down sucrose, then it will give me glucose and fructose. These glucose and fructose immediately, exactly the moment they break down, they enter into this pathway and change into glucose 6 phosphate. So it is glucose or it can be fructose, but they change into glucose 6 phosphate with the help of enzyme phosphorylase. As you know that this step, what are we doing in this step? In this step we are doing the phosphorylation means now you are going to using ATP basically. We need phosphate, so there is a simple glucose or fructose, they have to change into glucose 6 phosphate. It means we need one phosphate here. So ATP will convert into ADP. But the question coming in mind, that ma'am, respiration to ATP प्रोड्यूसिंग प्रोसेस है, बट नो, सी ग्लाइकोलिसिस, इन ग्लाइकोलाइसिस pathway the first phase is activation phase, and this is also known as energy consuming phase. First few steps, they are energy consuming, and then there is a payoff phase. So glucose change into glucose 6 phosphate because it is a phosphorylation process. So enzyme is easily to recognize, that is phosphorylase, or this is called hexokinase, or hexokinase. You can write down the enzyme in the step glucose change into glucose 6 phosphate. So we are using here 1 ATP molecule. Now this glucose 6 phosphate change into isomeric form. What is its isomeric form? That is the fructose 6 phosphate. So the enzyme which will work here is isomerase, because just you are changing the glucose into its isomeric form, that is fructose 6 phosphate. So enzyme isomerase. Now this fructose 6 phosphate will be, now one more phosphate is added here. Phosphorylation again happened here. So for fructose 1,6 biphosphate, when you are adding phosphate, what do you require? You need ATP. So we are using one more ATP molecule. ATP is changing into ADP, and we are using enzyme phosphorylase. So now we have fructose 1,6 biphosphate. Fructose 1,6 biphosphate with the help of enzyme aldolase. Now it is a 6 carbon molecule, right? Fructose, glucose, they are 6 carbon. So here now they will change into 3 carbon compounds. What are these 3 carbon compounds now? They will change into glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate or dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Again I am repeating that this fructose 6 by 1,6 biphosphate, it is a 6 carbon compound. So it's split into this dihydroxyacetone phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate, and these two compounds, they are interconvertible, means dihydroxy can change into glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate can change into dihydroxyacetone phosphate. As you can see, there was biphosphate. Now 1 phosphate is given to each molecule. Dihydroxyacetone phosphate is having 1 phosphate, and glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate is having 1 phosphate. So they will be now our 3 carbon compound. Now see, glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate will enter into the cycle. It will continue with the cycle. So whenever, because these two forms are formed, so whenever dihydroxyacetone phosphate is formed, it will change into glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate and then enter into the cycle. Or if sometime it is happening that glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate is there, it will change, it is changing into dihydroxyacetone phosphate, then again it come back to its position, that is glyceraldehyde, and then enter into the cycle. But this enter into cycle with the glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. So now we are starting the cycle with glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. So from here till the pyruvic acid formation, this is called payoff phase or energy producing phase, क्योंकि अभी तक तो हमने सिर्फ एनर्जी को एक्सपेंडिचर, इसका एनर्जी स्पेंड किया है, कुछ एनर्जी प्रोड्यूस नहीं हुआ है. सो नाउ फ्रॉम glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate, now we need one more phosphate here. So we will add here now not ATP. This we are going to add inorganic phosphate. And now we have two interconvertible form, that is dihydroxyacetone phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. This glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate will enter into the cycle. One important point to note down here, that whenever dihydroxyacetone phosphate has to be enter into cycle, it will first change into glyceraldehyde, because these are interconvertible. Only then it will enter into the cycle. So once this glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate, now it has to change into the acid. So here it is getting now oxidized. So NAD positive, now it is going under redox, again redox reaction, and we are adding 2 protons. So NADH, that is NADH plus H positive is formed here, and which is you can also written as NADH2 with the help of with inorganic phosphate. Here we are not using ATP for the phosphate. Here we are using inorganic phosphate. So glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate, that is your 3 PGAL, it is oxidized, and with the help of NAD positive, that forming the NADH2. Now it will and now 1 phosphate is added, so it will form 1,3 biphospho-glycerate, or acid is formed, that is 1,3 biphospho-glyceric acid. Now, this 1,3 biphospho-glyceric acid, one phosphate group is removed. So, it is again releasing energy step, because ADP plus ADP plus phosphate, it give rise to our ATP. So here 1,3 biphosphoglyceric acid change into 3 phosphoglycerate. So 1 phosphate is removed, so energy is released here. Then 3 phosphoglycerate with the help of enzyme phosphoglycerate mutase. Just the position of phosphate group is changed here. It changed into 2 phosphoglycerate with the help of enzyme phosphoglycerate mutase. So from 3 phosphoglycerate, 2 phosphoglycerate is formed. Now we have to make PEP. So PEP, for that we need enol group. So enolase, with the help of enzyme enolase, 2 phosphoglycerate change into phosphoenol pyruvate. So 5-phosphoenol pyruvate finally form our acid, that is called pyruvic acid. Again, when phosphoenol pyruvate change into pyruvic acid, it is an energy releasing step, because we are removing here phosphate. So ADP plus phosphate, that give us another ATP in the payoff phase. Now why I have written here 2 molecules? As you can see, one molecule of pyruvic acid is forming continuation from the glyceraldehyde. Second, when dihydroxyacetone also enter into the cycle, change into glyceraldehyde, and second pyruvic acid is formed. So in total 2 molecules of pyruvic acid are formed here. So we have two types of two phases here of glycolysis, that is activation phase, in which we are using energy, that is energy consuming phase, and second part is our payoff phase, in which energy is getting released. So this is our whole complete 10-step process of glycolysis. As glucose or fructose, they enter into the cycle, then phosphorylation is done and glucose 6 phosphate is formed, and then the glucose 6 phosphate change into its isomeric form, which is fructose 6 phosphate. Now one more phosphate group is added, so that is with the phosphorylation, which is called fructose 1,6 biphosphate. This fructose 1,6 biphosphate split into 2 molecules, that is dihydroxyacetone phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. Glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate enter into the further cycle and form glyceric acid. This glyceric acid now undergo dephosphorylation. 1 phosphate is removed and change into 3 phosphoglycerate. Then phosphate position is changed and it change into 2 phosphoglycerate. This I will then 2 phosphoglycerate, in the presence of enzyme enolase, it change into phosphoenol pyruvate, and in the last step the pyruvic acid is formed with the removal of phosphate group, right? So this is our 10 complete 10-step process of glycolysis, which is explained with the help of 2 phases: activation phase or energy consuming phase, or second is payoff phase, in which energy is getting released. Now if we talk about the ATPs, so as you can see here, we are using 1 and 2 ATPs, right? 2 ATP are used here, and here one ATP is getting released and second is released here. For one pyruvic acid molecule, 2 ATPs they are released. So 2 pyruvic acid ke liye how many ATP will be released? 4. But how many are used in the upper phase, in the activation phase? 2 ATP they are already used. So 4 minus 2, that is will be 2 ATP will be we have net gain. Net gain is exact gain is, that is the means immediate gain is the 2 ATP. But then here one more thing, that how many NADH2 we are forming. See, NADH2, if we talk about one pyruvic acid, one NADH2, and one NADH2 is responsible for 3 ATP molecules. So 2 NADH2 means how many molecules? 6 ATP molecule. And what is your net gain? Net gain is our 2 ATP molecules from glycolysis. So 6 from NADH2 plus 2 is from your ATP. So gross gain is, total gain is 8 ATP from glycolysis pathway. This is our gross gain, and net gain is your 2 ATP molecule. But if you are we are calculating with the NADH2, that is total number of molecule that we have in our hand, that is the 8 ATP. So let's now talk about our theory part, that how you have to write down the steps. So glucose is derived from either, because sucrose is transported in the sugar in which food is transported in plant, that is sucrose. So glucose is derived from sucrose, or it can be derived from the stored carbohydrate, which is your starch. This sucrose is a disaccharide. So it will further now change into glucose and fructose with the help of enzyme invertase. And these glucose and fructose, they both are monosaccharides. So once sucrose split into glucose and fructose, they immediately enter into glycolytic pathway. So first we start with glucose or fructose. They get phosphorylated and change into glucose 6 phosphate. So glucose and fructose, they change into glucose 6 phosphate. A1 phosphate is attached with the help of expenditure of ATP. And enzyme which we used here is hexokinase. Now this glucose 6 phosphate change into its isomeric form, which is fructose 6 phosphate with the help of enzyme isomerase. Fructose 6 phosphate undergo further phosphorylation with the help of ATP expenditure and enzyme phosphohexokinase, and fructose 1,6 biphosphate is formed. In next step, fructose 1,6 biphosphate change into or split it into two forms: 3-phospho-3-PGAL, that is 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, and dihydroxyacetone phosphate. And these two products are interconvertible. Dihydroxyacetone phosphate can be changed into 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde. 3-PGAL can be changed into dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Every time this dihydroxyacetone phosphate has to enter into the cycle, it has to first change into 3-PGAL. So now 3-PGAL is oxidized with the help of NAD positive, which change into NADH plus H positive. Means you are adding 2 protons here. 2 H positive are added, and then your NADH2 is formed. And this PGAL is changing into glyceric acid. Aldehyde group is changing into acid with the protons, inorganic phosphate is added. So 1,3 biphosphoglyceric acid. 3-PGAL is oxidized, and ultimately finally we have our 1,3 biphosphoglyceric acid, BPGA, biphosphoglyceric acid from the 3-PGAL. Biphospho, that is your 1,3 biphosphoglyceric acid. This 1,3 biphosphoglyceric, 1 phosphate is removed from here and change into 3-phosphoglyceric acid. So it is a energy releasing step, right? That 3-phosphoglyceric acid is formed here. 3-phosphoglyceric acid change its position of phosphate and change into 2-phosphoglycerate. And finally, with the help of enzyme enolase, there is a formation of PEP, that is your phosphoenol pyruvate. Phosphate is removed from this with the, again this is energy releasing process, energy releasing step, and finally we have our pyruvic acid, right? Two molecules of pyruvic acid are formed from one glucose molecule. Questions which are usually asked in NEET as well as sometime in your board exam, that mention those steps in glycolytic pathway where ATP is utilized. ATP is first, both are the phosphorylation step. First in the when glucose change into glucose 6 phosphate. Second when fructose 6 phosphate change into fructose 1,6 biphosphate. So in these two steps we are using energy. Metabolic, now this we have formed the pyruvic acid in the glycolysis. Where this pyruvic acid will go, it depends on the cell need, if cell is having oxygen or cell is without oxygen. So there are three major ways in which different cells they can handle pyruvic acid. Either they can go through lactic acid fermentation, or you can say alcoholic fermentation, or it can enter into aerobic respiration and go to the Krebs cycle. So glucose 6 is a 6 carbon molecule in cytoplasm, that what we discussed today, that is your glycolysis. That step is now discussed. Energy is released here, pyruvate is formed. So now this pyruvic acid can either, in the yeast there is no oxygen, in absence of oxygen it will form ethanol, and because ethanol is a 2 carbon compound, so 1 carbon is released with the CO2 and energy is released. So lack of oxygen, if oxygen is lacking not absent, pyruvic acid will change into lactic acid and energy is released. I already told you that in anaerobic 2 ATP molecules are released, but in the presence of oxygen, what will be formed? This pyruvic acid change into CO2 plus water plus energy, and this stage happens in mitochondria, which is the called aerobic respiration. And we are going to discuss our steps of aerobic respiration in our next lecture. We are going to start with the aerobic respiration with the Krebs cycle, right? So I hope you are able to understand glycolysis in a thorough way. So go through this video and I will meet you in next lecture.